Alrighty, we are back on with a wonderful stream, trying to check things out and make sure everything is beautiful and golden. Hopefully we will keep things nice and awesome, but we've moved locations and our tech setup's a little different, so do forgive me if things are not as smooth as they were the last time we were streaming, but we're going to get it done and we will make everything happy. So, from what we know and what we've seen, there have been a lot of updates since the last time we've streamed Hex Shards of Fate. It says we're live, that's good. We're going to flip this over to here. Snazzy. So right now we have beta. We have just put in for our Kickstarter backers, which gave us all of the starter decks and all of our PvP rewards. I think it's really super snazzy. Alright, so what we're going to do is we are going to pop a few Primal packs. Popping Primal packs, woo! Alright, so let's take a look and see kind of what we've got going on. We'll go into this expanded view here, and we'll take a look. So, let's sort by rarity. Not just your favorite pony anymore. Rarity tells you exactly what you got where. Kinda nice. Let's go ahead and let's open up a Primal pack. So, we've got a little bit of platinum to start up doing a few drafts. And we've got some of our starter packs from our champion tier. But we also have a Primal pack. So let's chuck a Primal pack in here. Let's see how this goes. Ooh, we got some really nifty stuff here in this Primal. Argus, Herald of Doom. Might be making an artifact deck here with that guy. The Kraken. Very fun. I was actually thinking of a white or a diamond sapphire that would make use of this guy. He's really rough to ramp up to in those colors. Really hard to dual shard it too, but I think with enough fixing it might be good. It might be a little janky. I have to see. Everything else is rares, which is sweet. Okay, so we have Onslaughts. Everything gets +3/+3 in Crush. Very good for Shin Hair. Incantation of Savagery. Love this card. Drop 5 creatures, turn it into awesome. Alright, Claws and Mountain God. A 5/4 for 3. Love using them in Orc decks. Protector Defender. Socketable Major. This guy definitely rocks out in draft. Depending on how he's gemmed, depends on how well he's usable and constructed. Master Theory Crafter. Socketable Major. 5 for 2/2, creates a Warbot. Now, the fun part that I've seen with this guy is what he likes to do is actually a great mill mechanic for whenever he creates a Warbot. So, you put it into, create a Warbot, put it into play, get speed and the socketed powers of the troop, but you can put in the mill gem into this guy, and he just mills for 2 every time. A really fun way to do some card denial. Shrine of Prosperity, advantage over time. It's going to be interesting. It might be a player and constructed. Maybe it's really hard to judge whether +1/+1 resources with an extra charge or a -1 cost over the turns if that advantage is worth its card slot or not. There's a lot of great bomby stuff in here. Hi. Eldon's Distress Signal. This one's interesting. It's very flavor. Very, very flavor. So, you drop them in, you exhaust 3 troops, you get the Imprisoned. So, with the Imprisoned, pay 2, as you can see, keyword, troop can't attack, troop can't block. Yeah, I'll tell you what, that's a little rough on that. So target troop gets flight. It can't block, it can't attack because, well, it's imprisoned. It's, super flavor here. So target troop you control gets flight this turn. Only for a turn. You have to tap 3 guys on your turn, so You attack him at the end of your opponent's turn. You find the Imprisoned. Now the Imprisoned is a 2/4 that can't attack and can't block yet. But at the end of the turn, 3 more troops control dealt damage to an opposing champion this turn. You transform it into the Liberated. So at the end of your opponent's turn, you would have to tap, bring in the Imprisoned, swing and hit your opponent to transform him into Liberated. And then when he's Liberated, he's a flight 2/4. So whenever he deals damage to a champion, draw a card. And then give them flight for the turn. I don't know, that guy is really janky. Flavorful as all get out. He's going to take the right kind of deck to make him work. Kind of makes me think he's going to end up being a flavor deck. It's alright though. Okay, Surge Mechanism. Love Surge Mechanism. Probably going to see Constructed, no doubt. I think it's really hard to pull off in draft, but hey, gain a charge next turn works out really well, especially for life drain. Servant of Shatbach. 1 for 2/2 flight, but only contains at least 20 different card names and 1 resources you control. So the fun part about Servant is that he works really well if you're doing a singleton style deck, which I think would be really fun in some of the raids and stuff. He's definitely, he's easy draft because you can have 20 different names and your cards depending on how your draft works out. Midnight Shepherd. Put a troop in the graveyard into play under your control. And it's a target graveyard? Yeah, in a graveyard, into play under your control. Oh, they took away his threshold reduction that he used to have. So now if you can actually get all of those in, tap, bring him in. I don't know, he might be combo fodder now for that. I mean, because you have Adaptable Infusion Device, you have Shards of Fate to get in everything. There's not a cost on it, you just tap it, you don't have to replace any of them. Midnight Shepherd might be seeing some play in a 5-shard deck now. Because what you would do is that you'd probably run Mono Blood, but you'd run 2 of every other shard. And so the rest of your deck is Mono Blood, but you're wanting to discard all your big guys in there. And by doing it that way, you can then tap and start pulling stuff back in. So it's really great for things that you can do that would help you cycle. I think Midnight Shepherd might see some constructed play in a combo deck. We'll need at least one more before we can do anything with him. Rocket Ranger. I've been liking this guy in draft. I really have. So when he comes in, when you got an artifact in play, he comes in with flight. He turns into a 4/4. If you got 3 or more artifacts, control 5 or more artifacts, deals 4 damage to the opposing champion. This guy's been really fun in drafts whenever I've had a chance to pull him. The Royal Falconer. So the fun thing about the Royal Falconer. So he enters play with 2 Royal Falcons, and they get plus attack equal to this troop's attack. So this guy is really, he's kind of a topper for a Ruby Inspire deck, which, it's not bad. Ruby Inspire, especially on the red side, is really attack focused. And so these guys come in. So these are actually 2/1s because they're coming in with the original attack of this guy. Not too bad, especially if you're trying to run like a blue-red flyer. That could work pretty well for a blue-red flyer deck. Ooh, Drew's Colossal Walker. The 5 for 8/8 Crush Robot. You must attack each turn if able. Doesn't ready during your ready step. If exhausted, you can pay 8 health to ready this troop. I don't know, it makes me think you might be able to run a type of diamond artifact deck using this guy and Volcanon. So the fun part about Volcanon, if you put in 2 Drew's Walkers and you're running Volcanon, well, this guy's a robot. So tap 1, you're able to execute Volcanon, pay 8 life, he immediately untaps. Gets really expensive, but if you've put in a life gain engine, in there so far, you might be able to make it work. Not this set, but I'm thinking you can make this guy work a little bit later. You can get that pay 8 health to mean very little once you have, like, 100 or something health. That's really hard to do outside of Diamond, though. But, if you have 20 health and you happen to need a couple executions of Volcanon, then you can tap the Walker and, get it through. Generally, attacking with them is better, though. Now, what you can do is that you can attack with them to swing through the troops. Once you've swung through the troops, you can then pay 8 health to bring them back up and then use the Volcanon with them. And so that way you can help get the last little bit of health. Which, good lord, I hope Volcanon's not rare. Ooh, we have a legendary chest as well. Ooh, and have to roll for 3,000 gold. We can't open it yet, so we'll go ahead and put that sucker in the stash. Alright, well, let's crack open another Primal pack. Let's see what we get. Ooh, this was a nice Primal pack. So just taking a quick look at it, we got Urnaz, fantastic. Angel of Dawn, amazing. Probably going to be one of the most valued cards in this set. Love those. Ooh, we even got Inferno. We got another Incantation of Savagery. Wild Root Dancers, fantastic. Oh, we'll go in these one by one now. Alright, so Urnaz. Urnaz is a fantastic card. So, 7 for 5/5 flight. It's like a lot of the dragons except for Jadim, of course. So it deals damage to an opposing champion. You put a troop from an opposing graveyard into play under your control. Bam! Nice, easy, swings, awesome. If you are unfamiliar with Angel of the Dawn, I am sorry, and you are lucky that you've not seen it. So we'll click back in here. So Angel of the Dawn, flight, steadfast, but it comes into play for free if it's the first card you draw on a turn. So it steals your draw, because, hi, it's a draw, but then it plays itself for free. So a 5 for 4/4 steadfast flyer, especially early game, is going to be significantly defining for probably the first block metagame. I know a lot of the Hex TCG Pro tournaments have made big use of this guy. Zarlox the Broodlord. Alright, so a 4 for 3/5. Unique. Alright, when he deals damage to a champion, you bury the top 3 cards of the deck and create a spider spawn for each troop buried this way and put it into play. This guy's kind of a little janky too. The fun part about him is that he mills a little, he creates spider spawns, but he doesn't turn a game very easily. So that's the downside of him. He's cool. I don't think he's going to get too much play unless you can get really good spider spawn production. Construction plans or Ingenuity Engine construction plans, fantastic, great artifacts. Virtuous of the Spring Litter, this is going to be great for the Shin Hair decks. Pact of Life, when you play resource, gain 3 health. Another Incantation of Savagery, we looked at that one in our last pack. Inferno, haven't played with this one too much yet because I haven't focused on a Ruby Burn deck. Enters play with an Inferno counter at the start of each champion's turn. Choose one at random, add an Inferno counter, or deal 1 damage to the champion for each Inferno counter on this constant. So it starts off with a chance to do 1 or gain another counter, and it'll go 1, and then 2, and then 3, and then 4, and then 5, and then 6. This is a little less powerful initially than what it used to be, because it used to be 3 damage on each player's turn, and it put a definite clock on the game. This one's probably more balanced, but if it stays in play without constant removal, this definitely puts a cap on what's going to occur in the game. It still puts a timer. But, how many rounds is it going to be until this, ticks off? Maybe it'll put 3 counters on. My turn, their turn, my turn, and then the next one, okay, they'll get hit with 4. That's fantastic. and then it'll hit me before, and then from there before, and then it's a counter, and then it hits them for 5. Not as nice, but it works. It's not as consistent. It's nice. It's lovely, but it's not consistent. Oh, Plant Garden. I haven't played with this sucker too much yet. So, at the start of your turn, add a seed counter to this constant. Gain 1 health for each seed counter on cards you control. And if there are 3 or more seed counters on this constant, remove them all and transform it into a Venus Flygorger, a Spore Stalks, or a Vine Goliath. Alright, so let's see what this guy does. So, Flygorger. 60% chance, a 3 for 5/5 life drain? That's pretty nifty. Let's see what the other one is. Spore Stalks. A 4 for 0/3. Create a Spore Stalks and put it into play. At the end of your turn, deal 1 damage to target opposing champion for each plant you control. Ooh. This might be worth running. Because it comes in as a constant. It's got a 30% chance of getting a direct damager or a 5/5 life drain. Or the Vine Goliath. So a 4 for 9/9 crush that can at will pay 3 exhaust target troop. Wow. And it happens when it's at 3. Oh, wow. The fun thing about this Plant Garden is, you know, you can just start popping them out. I mean, it takes 3 turns to germinate. But, at the start of your turn, adds a seed. Oh, and it's whenever there are 3. You know, I think the Plant Garden is going to be a bit of a sleeper. I don't see it working as well in drafts, because I think you want to get that solid mono wild to make this guy work the best, but I don't know. I think I'm liking Plant Garden. I might give that sucker a good test. If you're used to Wild Fruit Dancer, 3 for 2/2, play resource. Troop you control gets another target troop you control gets +2/+2. Fantastic. Not much can be said. Uzume, Grand Concubunny. This is one of the named characters. There's going to be a lot of flavor on this one. So it's a 6 for 3/5. At the start of your turn, create a random, non-unique shin hair and put it into play. She will create advantage, and there are some very good shin hair out there. So what we know, let's see what we got on flavor for this one. Uzume manipulated and murdered her way to the position of power she has always craved, and she has no intention of relinquishing her chair. So, there's going to be some flavor around this one. Definitely some flavor around her. Princess Victoria, if you contributed to the Kickstarter, you got the much better art version of this girl. She is still good. Especially when she comes in your opening hand at -3 cost. Giving everything life drain after you play her is fantastic. Still dies to a burn and that first Rage Fire, but yeah, she definitely is worth her rarity. Eternal Youth. Escalation 4. Nice, gain 4 health. And then permanently add 4 to the bold number. You know, it's really hard to tell the bold number on this one. And I think it's going to be kind of hard to tell the bold number on some of these when you compare it. It's really hard to see this 4 versus this 4. I think they may want to do a graphical update in the next set for that sucker. But this guy can get out of hand if you let him. So it's like most life gain, it's a little, what's the way I've said it before? It's generally a waste of your mana until you start, instead of it being 4, it's instead 16. That's a little bit different. Let's see what we got. Circle of Preservation. Alright, so once per turn, pay nothing. The next time target card or action would deal damage to you this turn, prevent it. And put this constant into your hand, and it gets a permanent +1 cost. See, I don't know if I like this guy. Let's see if I can talk myself into liking this rare. So you pay 3, drops in. So once per turn, you can pay 0, and the next card or action that would deal damage to you this turn, prevent it. So if you have a Drew's Mechanical Walker like we had last pack, swings at you, is about to swing for 8, pay 0, card is going to come back to your hand, still going to cost you 3, but the once per turn cost is now +1. Or put this constant into your hand. Oh, no, that's not the way it reads. The way it reads, the constant gets +1, not the cost of it. So it's going to cost 4 to bring it down to prevent Drew's Walker from hitting me in the face again. I don't know. I mean, damage prevention's nice, but a fog ability would be much better than just the selective damage hit. But it could be powerful early on. We'll see. Tectonic Break. 7/2 Wild Threshold. This guy is expensive. Basic actions. For each troop, randomly determine if it is destroyed. Each troop has a 10% chance of not being destroyed for each point of defense that it has. So it's a chance of not being destroyed. So if you have 1, you have a 10% chance of not doing it, which means you have a 90% chance of dying. Let's see, let's say if you played this against red, you played this against like a Ruby Orc deck. Most of them have 1 or 2, they're probably all going to die. But not all of them, because it's random. 4s would have a 40% chance or 60% chance of dying. Anything with 5 health is at 50-50. Yeah, I mean, it's removal. Wild doesn't have much removal. I don't even like the idea of playing it in draft, honestly. It just leaves so much up to random chance. You don't have a great way to deal with that chance in PvP. I know you can deal better with it in PvE, but it's a good pack mostly because Angel of Dawn, Burnaz, Ritualist of the Spring Litter, Inferno. Let's be honest, there's a lot of great rares in this first set. Okay. Alright, we looked at that. We get a chest, and it's a legendary chest. Yay, but I have no gold yet, so we're going to put that in the stash. Alright, let's go ahead and crack another Primal pack. Let's see what we get. Alrighty, well, let's see. Start the first bit. Zombie Plague. Alright, so Zombie Plague. For those who are unfamiliar with this one changed up a lot from the initial alpha development. So at the start of your turn, you're now revealing 3 random cards from each opposing champion's deck. Troops revealed this way get -1/-1. We then void those troops with a defense of 0 or less. Then you create a zombie for each troop that was voided this way, and then you put them into play. This is really great against aggros. It's devastating against Shin Hair decks. That in and of alone is going to put that sucker in sideboard for blood. Yeah, definitely for anything running blood. I mean, its threshold's a little high to be running in a 2-color deck, but with the fixing that you can do in constructed, it's not that bad. But yeah, it can be really wonky to artifact decks because it doesn't matter. Yeah, I see this really, it just murders Shin Hair. It can damage flyers terribly because most of the flyers, they're 1 or 2 health. As that deck gets smaller, yeah, it's completely ineffective against creatureless decks, of course. You just get to look at 3 random cards in the deck, and so then it's just an information gatherer each turn. It's going to be good. It's definite sideboard material. It is probably going to see some main play once the combos start coming out for getting everything down. Ooh, Archmage Renlock. I love this card, but the reason I love it is because I'm a terrible Johnny player at times. So he's a 4 for 3/3, play in action, draw a card. Simple, straightforward, really good quality card. The interesting thing about this card is that he works wonderfully in tandem with the Transcendent, because the card that you draw from this, you're going to be able to pick whatever you want. And with the Transcended, you're already starting to pick whatever cards you want at the start of your turn. It's really Johnny. It's hard to pull off. When he comes in, he's immediate bait for removal. Which in and of itself is not bad either, because if he stays in play, you're being forced with that decision of, do I let my opponent have this ability and draw cards whenever they play actions, and oh my god, I'm facing Sapphire, this can play actions on my turn or their turn, the card advantage just gets real rife real quick. And pardon me, I had to take a drink there. Alright, so Verdant Wild Boar. So 2 for 4 speed. At the end of your turn, you shuffle the troop into your deck. If you do, it gets permanent +4/+4 and then loses its power. So this actually could work really good in an aggressive wild deck. It's aggressively costed. It's going to come in. It's going to swing for 4. If it can be good fast removal. You don't get the target what you do, but you can see this guy coming in with a fight to the death. 2, drop this guy in, fight to the death, swing at it. You don't care if it lives, you don't care if it dies, but if it does live, it's coming back in, and it's going to be a 2 for 8/8. This guy's going to see some play. I don't think he's maximized yet because a lot of the wild players haven't found exactly how they want to use him. But he's going to be a solid powerhouse. Plus, he's great in draft. Lord Alexander the Courageous. Inspire as another troop with cost equal to or greater. Enters play under your control. Gets permanent speed. This guy's good. He gets a little combo-y, but he accelerates decks really quickly, especially that puts people on the ground. So let it be known, this guy is awesome. He also works with some really fun combos. Let's see. Incantation of Fear. You know, this one really... I've tried playing it. I loved it when it cost like 2. But when they upped its cost to 4, I didn't like it as much. So it's a constant for one blood threshold. So enters play from graveyard from anywhere. You add an incantation counter, 5 or more counters. You transform it and all other incantations into Maddening Nightmares. And Maddening Nightmares is awesome. At the start of your turn, you reveal the top card of your champion's deck, and you bury each of those cards. That's nice. It's a 4 for 6/4. It swings. It's lovely. It blocks. It's great. That's not bad. It's just getting it in for 4 means, and especially because it's pool, the way it comes in is if whenever an opposing whenever a card enters the graveyard. So you've got to be hitting removal. They've got to be attacking. You've got to be doing something already really advantageous to make it work instead of creating board position. So you're creating negative board position with Incantation of Fear to get that to work, and that's the problem. That's why it's hard to pull off. Plus, its cost is kind of a pain in the ass. Incantation of Fury. We're doing really good with the incantations. Alright, so constant. Now, when a champion is dealt damage, you add a counter to the constant. 5 or more turns into Inferno Elemental. A 1 for 6/3 speed. This guy is fun. The problem that I find with Incantation of Fury is you need to start getting static damage hitting to make Incantation of Fury good. So Incantation of Fury gets run in Burn Inferno Ruby decks. Hideous Conversion. I love this card in my Sacrifice Shinhair deck. You can do a lot of great things once you start getting the synergies up. It's combo-y. Good card. Total Meltdown. Sideboard material, but you love it because whenever someone drops that Drew's Walker in your face and is wanting to come run over at you, you're like, I'm destroying all your artifacts. You have a great day. Plus, it's great for, destroying dwarves. Master Theory Crafter. This is our second one of these guy. This is good. Looks like I might need to start making myself a Ruby Mill deck. Immortality. If you would lose the game this turn, your health becomes 10 instead. Not bad. It's not quite immortal. I still think that they should probably have gotten some better naming on this guy. Royal Falconer. We've seen Royal Falconer before. Extinction. Very nice, very nice. I think this is my first regular Extinction. Destroy all troops. Great. Blood. Fantastic. This may be my third total Extinction because I think there were promo ones. Midnight Shepherd. This is our second Shepherd. So, he's going to be fun. Infernal Professor. Put a random non-resource card from your deck into your hand. It gets permanent cost -2, and at the start of your turn, if this card is in your hand, it deals 2 damage to you. Alright. So you put a non-random resource card from your deck into your hand. So, whatever it is, you know it's not a resource, but it's coming from your deck to your hand. Its cost goes down by 2, and then if it's still in your hand, it's going to do 2 damage to you. So, if you get something that's 2 or less, it becomes free. That's awesome. But if it's like a murder, you have an instant cast 1 cost murder. But if you don't need to murder something immediately, that can get rough. And because it's a random card, what you're really doing is you're paying 2 to accelerate your deck by 1 card. So you pay 2 to reduce the cost of whatever you really think you wanted to play that turn. It might work when you're trying to thin out the deck, but not being able to pick that card is a bit rough. But if you know, you know you don't want a resource, and you know anything else that you pull at this point would be fantastic, then yeah, you might as well play the Fertile Professor, because it's there just to make your deck thinner. Which, there are a couple styles that want that. And then we have another Eternal Youth. Now I can build my Eternal Youth deck. Yay! Okay. Legendary chest, legendary chest. You see that? 30,000 gold to spin on a legendary chest. That is so rough. What can we get on spinning again? 2 of those is a free spin. What would you upgrade a legendary chest to? Good God. Alright. So if you get 3 stars, mercenary, pay to spin again. That's nice. PvE equipment, nice. Upgrade chest. I mean, not bad, but again, it's already a legendary chest. PvE card, spin again. Whoa, if they're giving out equipment and PvE cards, that means we're not going to be able to get to open chests until PvE comes in. They better get on the ball and get that PvE going in. Alright. Ooh, sleeps. Alternate art, nice. Upgrade the chest twice. Not only will it be legendary, it will be epic legendary. PvP rare card. And so that's the little horned helmet guys. 3 red icons, upgrades your normal price, 3 gold icons, grants gold rewards. Not bad. You know what's better than that? Another Primal pack. Alright, let's see what we got. Ooh! I apologize, but we have a Jadeem. I understand there was another epic in there, but it's a Jadeem. So, I like this guy. I liked him better before they hit him with the Nerf bat, but he's a 5 for 5/5 green flyer. Of course unique, but when you play a non-resource card, Jadeem gets +X this turn, where X is that card's cost. So, the bright spot is that he comes in, he's a 5/5. When he swings, you play something to either buff him up, or you play something that's going to assist, buffs him, swings over, and it's any non-resource, so it doesn't just have to be a wild card anymore, it can be any card. So what I found that's been really good is you run him in a green fatties deck with ramp capacity in there. And so my funnest play that's been really consistent is to 5 drop down your Jadeem. Oh, nice. I'm just reading what you said, Neo. So Neo got 2 mercs today from his free spins, and they just went directly to a stash, which is absolutely awesome. If you can, Neo, tweet out a couple pics of those mercenaries. I think everyone would love to see those. And I know I'd love to see them. So, you know, take a screen cap and tweet that stuff out, man. Then, but getting back to lovely Jadeem. So, you know, the funnest play I've had with him so far is that you follow him up with the Fist of Brigadon. So he comes and he swings for 11. And then next turn, the Fist is going to swing for 6. And then Jadeem swings. Generally, the game is pretty well over after that, unless they've been able to set up. Pact of Life. When you play a resource, gain 3 health. This is not a good card. It might be okay for draft at some point, but it's really not a great card, and it's because you just gain 3 health. And until you can set up a synergy to where gaining 3 health gives you greater board advantage, it's not a great card. Yesterday, put each troop in its controller's hand. I like this and I hate it simultaneously. When you are definitely outmatched in your board position, being able to yesterday at the end of their turn or during their attack step is fantastic, because they've used all of their plays. Any tricks that they might be trying to get out can be stalled or pushed back. Kicks everything up to their hand, or doing it at the end of their turn when you've already got speed cards in your hand is fantastic, because you kicked everything up, you're going to drop something in with speed, and it rolls in. So if you're running a Ruby Sapphire deck, you can get some really great combat tricks on that way. It's just really rough. That 5 cost is a beast. Leaving 5 mana open on top of that can get really rough unless you've been setting up extremely well. Plus kicking everything back to the hand, which means you're completely changing up that board position. But Sapphire can make that work, and there are times that I really wish I had it yesterday whenever I was getting overrun by an aggro deck. Ooh, another Claw of the Mountain God. Very good. I like this guy. He's awesome. Well, we've already looked at one of those. So Dream Dance. 2, basic action, 1 blue or 1 Sapphire threshold. Troops in your deck get permanent when this troop enters play. Draw a card, then choose and discard a card. So it gives you that cycle, which is awesome. It's a basic action. It's just one of those. Oh, they only... Alright, we gotta pause. We're going to take a look at the Twitter pic from Neo. I'm just now seeing it here. So, we can see, so when you roll a mercenary, it's just an icon that goes to the stash. You don't have any info yet, but there are some alternate art wheels of fate that are there too. So, ooh, like the Windborn Acolyte alternate art looks really nifty. Let's see what other ones we've got going. Which, by the way, Neo, thanks for posting these up. These are snazzy. Ooh, Veteran Gladiator. That's a nice Veteran Gladiator. He looks a lot more like a Veteran Gladiator. That's a great alternate art. Thanks for sharing that, bud. Thank you for sharing. That's awesome. Awesome. Alright, sorry, it's not been the easiest thing to see on there. Alright, so the next one we have Mystic Spirit Walker. This guy is also cool. He's a 4/4 3, but when he attacks, target troop, and it's not another target troop, it's just choose target troop you control. The next time it would be dealt damage in the game, you prevent it. So this guy, very good. He's a definite turner, because when he attacks, he can prevent his damage, which means he either becomes removal or unblockable or just there. You know, it's not the same thing as having that in Crush, but I don't know, you could always run a Diamond Green deck. Inferno. This is our second Inferno. We might be building a burn deck here soon. Well, as soon as I get more, actually, as soon as I actually get, oh goodness, my brain just died. As soon as I start getting the burn spells from Ruby. Prophet Lodgan, or Lodigan, or Lodigan. No, Lodigan's not right. There's no A in that first part. Lodgan. We'll say Lodgan. So 7 for 3/3, and he puts 3 echoes into play, and an echo is the same thing as just him. You know, I so want this guy to work somehow, and I want him to be awesome. The problem is that putting in 7 for, what is it, 4/3/3s, so he says 7 for 4/3/3s into play. That definitely creates the board position. There's no doubt that it creates good board position. But what you really want is you want him to take advantage of everything related to inspiration, because those coming in with all of the inspire triggers is, oh my god, you know, fantastic. So I think his home is really as the top play in an inspire deck, which kind of also means he's probably not constructed viable unless there's another combo I'm missing with him. And if that's the case, then yeah. Ooh. Ashasha. Windborn Acolyte. Alright, well, it looks like I want to need to be doing some drafts here soon, because I want to need to start getting myself some mercenaries. Alright, Living Totem. This guy is constructed awesome, and he is draft awesome. Constructed less than draft, because he's lovely in draft, but his constructed is also really good. So he's a 2 for 2/2, and y'all are probably now hearing my puppy, because that is just what things happen. We have some visitors now. Pay 3, give it +1, or Swift Strike, or Flight, or Life Drain, or Steadfast. Just good. Emberspire Witch, a 2 for 2/2 Swift Strike. Champions can't gain health. Fantastic. Probably going to just be... yeah, it might main deck a couple times, but it's going to be in the sideboard a lot of the time. Ooh, we have another incantation. Let's see. We've gotten the Wild Incantation, the Ruby Incantation, the Blood Incantation, and now we have the Sapphire Incantation. The only incantation we need left now is the Diamond Incantation. But Incantation of Ascendance. When you draw a card, you add a counter. 5 or more counters turns into Lightning Armada. So, Lightning Armada. 4 for 2/2. When this troop has +2/+2 for each card in your hand. So, and it gets cards for whenever we draw, right? When you draw a card, add an incantation counter to this constant. So, just like the wild constant, whenever you play troops, this one, wild naturally plays troops. So, it ends up being, because you're doing something you already want to do with the incantation, the payoff from the incantation in wild is awesome. Because I was going to play creatures anyway. In fact, I'm really good at playing creatures. That's what wild says. Blue does the same thing here with Incantation of Ascendance. So the Sapphire card is like, oh, I draw cards. In fact, I'm really awesome at drawing cards. I'm going to draw cards and I'm going to create Lightning Armada. Oh, look, I'm a flying 2/2. Wait, I have 4 cards in hand. Never mind, I'm a flying 10/10. Oh, you have a problem in my hand. Okay, I'll turn myself into a flying 8/8 and play a card that buffs something back into the hand. Yeah, Lightning Armada is good. This one, the Wild Incantation, are my 2 favorites of the incantations, and it's because they just naturally help you out. Hi, Zomnivore! Sorry for the delay. I will tell you hi in the chat as well. Alright, now we have Zentoth's Inquisitor. Socketable Major, 4 for 3/1. I remember when he was a 3 for 3/1 and he was more awesome at 3. I think he was at 3. He's still nice at 4. But being as a 4 for 3/1. Oh yeah, he used to be a 3 for 3/1. Oh, they upped him. Oh. Hi, Sheez. She's Yami. Would you like to be known as Sheez or Yami? Oh, the forums died again? Yeah. They're going to have problems with that. I mean, they pushed us into beta. It's just kind of going to happen. Plus, I've also noticed there's been a lot more traffic on today. That's the reason, probably one of the reasons why. But if you are unfamiliar with the Inquisitor, the best part is his sockets can really help you out, and he just keeps coming back to the hand. So he's going to start off as 4. That's going to be a telephone. Shizu, fantastic Shizu. It's still a great card. It's not as format defining. I definitely agree. I'm just repeating what you put into the chat there, Zom. That 3 for 3/1 was extremely format defining. The 4 for 3/1 means that you have to make that gem very useful for whatever your deck is doing. You know, when he he was a lot better costed at 3, of course, but that's one of the reasons why they had to increase it. Because hitting that 6th drop on blood is doable, especially in a mono blood. But he gets so jankily wonderful when you've got him in with other shards. Alright. The Chimes of the Zodiac. I had this played on me, and it was fantastic how it was played, and I loved it. Because what they did, they placed down their Chimes of the Zodiac, and next turn, they double life siphoned me with it, and it was great. Mostly because, you play an action, you copy it, and you don't have to choose new targets for it, so you life siphon for 5, you really just life siphon for 10. Oh, look! I life siphon you for 7, you take 14. I life siphon you for 10, you die. So it was nice. It's really rough to put into play unless of course you're running dwarves, but dwarves aren't going to have access to like life siphon. But it can work really well. So not the best in the world. It's going to be probably it's going to get decks built around it. I don't know how viable it's going to be in constructed though. Spearcliff Cloud Knight. This guy is almost staple in a lot of my decks that are run Diamond, especially Diamond exclusively, because it's Life Drain, Flight, Steadfast. That's just good. So because that's just good, it's going to be what it's going to be. A 3 for 3, 2, Life Drain, Flight, so he's got evasion, he's hitting and gaining you life. People want to kill him. It's a good card. It demands an answer, otherwise it gets out of hand. And we receive another legendary chest. Yes, very legendary, most definitely. And, I haven't checked out the forums yet today because I've been bad. I've been working on other stuff all day. But we've got 2 more. Let's see. Oh, draft is certainly a bomb. Most definitely. Yeah, I want to windmill slam my desk. Be like, bam! But you lose the effect, You can't be chat on everyone and be like, I just pulled this in my draft. Alright, here, let's go ahead and crack another Primal. We've got another Zombie Plague. Alright, so we've looked at Zombie Plague once already, so we won't go over it too much more. But this is the first time we've had a Transmogrifier pop up. Now with 2 Zombie Plague, that means I can start actually running them in blood decks, so that's going to be nice. Alright, so Transmogrifier. Constant, pay 3. Transform each artifact, constant, and troop into a random artifact, constant, or troop with the same cost. Alright. I want to get a little Johnny on you here for a little bit. So, you play down your Transmogrifier. Nice. Everyone's got all their stuff out. Here's something fun you can do if you want to keep transmogrifying everything. So, you cast your Transmogrifier. While that goes on the stack, you then play the quick action that allows you to bounce any card and play back up to your hand. Bounce your Transmogrifier up. It's going to, of course, get the 6 cost, but everything else transforms. Next turn, drop it back down, do it again. Why? Because sometimes it's just hilarious. We'll call that the troll deck. Soul Marble. Part of me just wants to just start screaming Soul Train every time I see this one, but just because it takes a little time to get it properly running. So, pay 1, add a sculpture counter. If you have, looks like 10 or more sculpture counters, you can either turn it into a Soul Cavalry or into Soul Armament. So let's take a look at each one. Soul Cavalry. 2 for 6/6 Steadfast Spell Shield. It's not bad. It's 6/6 Spell Shield, fantastic. Steadfast blocks, good. But it's really not as good as Soul Armaments, which is troops you control get +2/+2 Steadfast and Spell Shield. That makes a big difference. Zom brings up a really fun thing that you can do with Transmogrifier. You can start reverting all of those cards back. afterwards. So you might be able to do a really fun Transmogrifier Revert deck in Blue Diamond, which, let's be honest, let's break stuff. It sounds like it's highly entertaining. We got a Spirit Cliff Cloud Knight. We got another Plant Garden, so we can start playing with the Cloud Knights. Plant Gardens are fantastic. We have our first Rage Fire. This is good. Actually, I think it might be third Rage Fire because I think that's one of the alternate arts that we were all given. Yeah, Soul Cavalry is the worst option you could go, but sometimes you want to play a card badly to throw off your opponent when you go into game 3 and then play it right because you admonish yourself for being bad. Zom, you're not supposed to be doing this yet until I start drafting. Then you can remind me that I can be a horrible player sometimes. And then other times I play well and do something crazy and it works, but that's beside the point. We'll call that small bits of... We're going to talk about Ash Harpy now. Zom, how dare you. Ash Harpy. This is another bomb card, even in draft. Actually, in all honesty, probably especially in draft, because it comes in, fight speed, rage 4. It's going to go 4, 8, 12, 16, 20 on each attack. It demands to be answered. If it's not answered, you're going to win. So that's one of the reasons why it's a fantastic bomb. Yeah, it's just... Ash Harpy is a good card. Any card that demands an answer is definitely a bomb. Okay, that's not necessarily true. Any card that demands an answer is almost necessarily going to be a bomb. Alright, so we have Shrewd Manipulation. Choose and discard 2 cards. Ready or exhaust target artifact or troop. I like it, but I hate it. And the reason I like it is because sometimes you need to ready something that can't normally be readied. But losing 2 cards for it doesn't seem to be very shrewd. Draft Mega Bomb! Zomnivore has decreed it. Draft Mega Bomb. Here, let's go back to Ash Harpy a little bit, because Shrewd Manipulation, it's going to have a place, but it's not going to be a very good place. So, in my opinion, so looking at Ash Harpy, so if you think, how awesome is Ash Harpy going to be in Constructed? It still demands an answer in Constructed. The question is, how big of a demand is it going to be? Well, when it first swings, it's going to swing as a 4/4 flyer for 6. And there's a lot of good blocks that you can probably run in the 4th floor. Angel blocks it and kills it. And a few others can block and kill this sucker off in the flyer realms. Anything that's been able to set up can probably drop it, but you can make that claim against any bomb, of course. And we're all going to agree, at least all the people I'm going to listen to will agree. I guess that makes me biased, doesn't it? But it's a draft mega bomb for sure. Oh, Debug has a very good note there that Ash Harpy and Gore Feast is an extremely good combo because it's going to swing and rage for 4. It's going to untap itself and then it's going to swing for 8. And so within that turn, you have a good chance of taking 12 points off a life total with Ash Harpy. But Gore Feast is just a fantastic card anyway. I can't wait till we pull one of those. It can be answered, of course, in Constructed. It still demands an answer, though. And I think that is a really defining characteristic for a Constructed playable card. Any card that you could just kind of ignore is not Constructed viable. So, for instance, Tectonic Break. Yes, it's a big earthquake. The problem is that sometimes you can just ignore a Tectonic Break because you killed everything. Every troop is affected by it. And it costs 3 more than Extinction. So, just because it's in Wild doesn't mean it's great. And it's not like Flyers avoided either. Which I guess is nice for Flyers, but I don't know. It doesn't demand an answer because it can be an unfair board reset, and it's all left up to chance, and none of us really like chance in our Constructed format. Ember Spire Witch. This is one where it gets relegated to your sideboard because it doesn't necessarily require an answer. You can lay down something with 3 defense and block it all day long, and you can burn it off pretty quick. Protector Defender, I like it. It's great for a 2/1 It dies, shovels back in, socketable major. The major socket, it this one is going to need to find its home. I don't know where it is yet. Once it finds its home, it's going to be fantastic. It's just got to find it first. Surge Mechanism is going to be only in a few select decks. Pay 2, tap, gain a permanent resource to your pool. It's good. I like it. Distress Signal. This is going to be the equivalent of probably PvP raid cards, just because it's kind of a pain to pull off. Oh yeah, amazing draft card, Ember Spire Witches. I love her in draft, but I love Swift Strike in draft entirely. So I was thinking constructed on that one. Oath of Valor. We haven't opened one of these yet. So Oath of Valor. 3 cost, 1 diamond threshold. When this constant enters play, name a troop you control. Troops you control with that name get +2/+2. I think this one has to essentially forces itself to be kind of a constructed card unless you've been able to draft multiples of the same card. Might be able to pull it off in a Chin Hair Diamond deck, I suppose. So now the thing that I like about this card is in constructed it can have a place. I don't know if it's going to hit top tier just because how often you're going to get copies of the same one into play easily unless your deck's designed for that. If your deck's designed for that, or do you have space for Oath of Valor? It's got a place. I don't know where it is yet. We'll see. Not the best in the world, not the worst. Then Battle Beetle. Yeah, got me some Battle Beetle here. Now the fun part about Battle Beetle is, you know, it's a 6 for 5/5. It goes great with powering up your Jadim. Its socket is fantastic. Zom is highlighting some really good things for Oath and Draft as well. It can give itself flight. I like putting the... oh, which gem do I like putting? I really like putting in the spell protection gem that keeps it from being targeted. I can't... My brain decided that it didn't want to do stuff. So... Alright, so the let's see. So that takes us to the end of this pack. Let's go ahead and see that we have another legendary chest. Alright, looks like we've got one more Primal pack to go through here. Alright, this is our last Primal pack from when we opened up. Let's see what we've got. We have Crown of the Primals. I have had this card rip me a new one because I was totally not prepared for it. So, it's a 5. It is a 1-shot. Troop you control gets permanent speed, crush, swift strike, and rage 3. And when it leaves play, you revert this sucker back to a constant. So, and yes, they made the Beetle 5/5, if I remember correctly. I think that's what you're talking about, Zom. Alright. I like it. It's good. I don't know if it's aggressively costed enough to be super consistent for all of the aggro decks that love the tar out of this, but I've had it also whoop my tail, so it's a good card. Resurrection. At the end of your turn, put a target troop from your graveyard into play, and it gets permanent +2/+2. It's cool when you get up to when you get up to 9 shards. That's the only problem with it, is that it costs 9, but bringing something into play from the graveyard, and it has to be your graveyard, and it gets +2/+2. It's a game ender. It's a lot more fun. Onslaught. We got one of these in the Shin Hair starter deck. +3/+3 crush. Nice, very nice. Basic action. You have all your Shin Hair up. Whoosh! Gigantify! 7 cost quick action. 2 wild threshold. Gets +7/+7 permanently. Oh, you thought you were coming over. Never mind. Whoosh! You know, just from like the flavor they have here with like the birds and stuff running around, they really should have that also allow it to block flying. +7/+7 is amazing. Permanent is even cooler. But the worm being able to jump up and grab the flyer is amazing. And to me, that was just cool. To me, it's flavor-wise. Crash of Beasts! Yeah. We got another one of our escalation cards. If you don't know what it does, which I imagine most of the people here do know what it does, but if you don't, it's a 3-cost, 2-wild threshold. First play of it creates 1 Rhino. A Rhino is a 3/3 with Crush. And then it escalates, adding 1 to it each time. So your first play is 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, then 5. You know, if you can get to the 5th play of it, of course, and still haven't won yet. But the Rhino itself it's a Rhino. They zoom in on the picture. It's Crush. It's a 3/3. 3/3. It's nice. Sadistic Castigator. A 6 for 4/4 flyer. That in itself is kind of dragony. Now, when an opposing champion draws a card, they reveal it, and you deal damage to them equal to the card's cost. I have liked this guy in the blood decks that I've played him. I would have probably liked him if he was an orc instead of a goblin, but for what he is, that knowledge and knowing what your opponent draws is valuable, especially in constructed. And then dealing damage to him equal to the card's cost is just salt in the wound. So I like this guy. He's not going to be in every blood deck, but he'll be in some blood decks, and he'll rock whenever he comes out, unless, of course, they murder him. Murder! But you can't murder a Cerebral Fulmination. This one, I love to play against this card. Very rarely have I, in a constructed game, not in draft, but in constructed, very rarely have I come to a spot where my opponent giving me that extra card first didn't allow me to win the game. You have to have some really, really powerful, really powerful answers in your deck to be willing to give your opponent the first card on this guy. But it works, and I've seen this used in draft to deck people. So it's awesome. It's not a bad card. It's going to be in select decks. It's going to have a place. Oh, we got this is our 3rd Spare Cleft Cloud Knight. That means he's going to the decks now. And for those who haven't seen him yet, of course, he's a 3 for 3/2, Life Drain, Flight, and Steadfast. Demands answered. He's cheap. I love him. My Diamond decks got better once I discovered him when they released him. Curse of Oblivion. Alright, so, quick action. Choosing target opposing card on the chain. Void each other card with the same name from its controller's deck, graveyard, and hand. So, you don't want to have any of your other stuff countered? Just Curse of Oblivion their counterspell. Or Curse of Oblivion some other card. Yeah, whatever they're playing is going to resolve. Nothing else will. It's going to have its place. It's sideboard. It's still fun. Not for your opponent, of course, but it's fun to get things out of play. It can be played intelligently. I like it. It won't always have a place, but it's definitely got some sideboard slots in there for some really crazy stuff that can exist. Hideous Conversion. This is our 2nd, which means we're now going to be able to play with them. Yay! Blood Sacrificing Shinhair. I think this is our 3rd Master Theory Crafter, which means now I definitely have to build a Sapphire Ruby destruction deck of some sort. Because, or Ruby Sapphire Mill. I guess I have to build one now because I've got the Theory Crafters to do it. Hapiro Samurai. That was actually probably horribly racist, and I apologize. So, as a Shinhair Warrior, if you haven't played against him, we'll go over him a little bit now. So he's a 1 for 1/1, good for Shinhair. But you can pay 1, sacrifice a troop, and give another troop -1/-0. You do this 3 times of any sort of sacrifice, not just his own sacrifice. So you have this in a Sacrifice Shinhair deck. He then transforms into the Elite Samurai. Now he gives something -1/-1. And so you start using his power to, instead of just mitigate some damage, you're using it as removal. And so his 2nd stage is the start of his removal. And when the 3rd stage drops in as a Samurai Warlord, your opponent's not keeping anything on the ground. Because in a Shinhair deck, you're popping out bunnies left and right and then you're now using them to essentially throw. You're throwing a Shinhare troop at them and killing them instantly. Oh look, you're a giant 7/7 flyer. Throw a bunny at you. That is the power of the Shinhare. Well, at least that's the power of a samurai warlord. He knows how to send a bunny to his death. This is a good card. He's not going to be in every blood deck. Essentially, he's a very niche Shinhare blood deck card. Wild blood, generally, for this guy, but combo-y. Most definitely a little combo-y, because you gotta make sure you've got your Shinhare coming in play often enough to make things work. Extinction, for those who do not know, it is amazing, and it destroys all troops. Boom! I like Extinction. This is, I guess this makes my 4th Extinction now, because with Kickstarter rewards, you got 2 alternate art extinctions, and now this is the 2nd pull from the Primals. This is also our 2nd Mystic Spirit Walker. For those who weren't here before, when it attacks, it's a 4/4/3, but as it attacks, it chooses target troop and prevents damage from it. That's kind of nice. Alright. Oh! We got another good one. Gore Feast of Cogtepthel. Yeah, Cogtepthel. This is actually mentioned as one of the combos to use with Ash Harpy a little bit earlier. So the fun part with this one is troops you control get Rage 1 for the rest of the turn. And then after your first post-combat main phase, there's an additional combat, followed by an additional main phase. At the start of that combat phase, ready every troop that attacked this turn. So, the fun part about this, so let's say you're playing an Ash Harpy, Artifact, Orc, run 'em over deck. But like, oh, hello, I attack. I don't have to pay 8 because he automatically gets untapped by my Gore Feast and then attacks again. And everything does this because not only do I want to win, this is probably how I'm going to get huge fame in the PvE arena when they finally release it. I'm just saying, it's an endbringer. Yeah. Good call, Debug. It's an endbringer card. It ends the game. It's lovely. It's fantastic. Its flavor text ain't too bad either. All thirst shall never be sated. It's also good flavor. Good card all around. Alrighty. Well, I'd love to spin, except I haven't gone for any drafts yet, so poo. But we've got 6 legendary chests just waiting for it. We have booster packs also just waiting for it, but you do not crack your booster packs. No. You cannot just crack your packs. Ooh, someone's got something in here. Fun fact, if you have the 1/1 red troop with Rage 2 and a Blaze Elemental, they can't block either of them, and you win turn 4 with Gore Feast. The idea is that, so you've got the 1/1 with Rage 2 and the Blaze Elemental. So the Blaze Elemental, I believe, is a 3/1, unless they turned it into a 4/1. We'll say it's 3/1. So, first time you attack, you're going to attack with 2 3/1s, except it's actually, with Rage 1 on each one, it's actually going to be 2 4/1s. They untap, and then you attack with a 5/5 and a, that's actually Rage 3, and then an 8/1. So you attack with an 8/1 and then a 5/1. I believe if all the math adds up, I think that does kill. So yeah, that's a nice little combo. Very, very aggressive there. Do not mind the small amount of platinum. I am a stingy bastard. So let's go ahead and take a quick look before we wrap things up, because I have a couple friends over and they apparently want my attention, and I like denying them my attention. So let's go ahead and take a few look at things by rarity here. Alright, drop that. Alright, so let's see. We opened 6 primals, which means we should have 12 legendary cards. So let's see how we're doing on legendaries. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we have 12 legendaries. Alright, so we got the Crown, Jadim, Resurrection, Cosmic Elder, Angel, 2 Zombie Plagues, so we have enough Zombie Plagues to be generally playable. Transmogrifier, Kraken, Renlock, and Argus. Some other generally good rare stuff we've got. So we've got Princess Victoria, and with the other one that we pulled earlier, we've got enough to be playable in a deck. We pulled a standard Rage Fire, so with the other 2 Rage Fires from Kickstarter tiers, we've got enough to build that. We've got a couple Infernos. We've got 2 of the Gore Feasts, so that's now playable. Ooh, I actually ended up getting 4 Theory Crafters. That's kind of cool. So I guess I'll be playing some decks with some Theory Crafters coming up. We've got 3 Onslaughts. I'll be playing with some Shin Hair from the look of it. 2 Incantation, probably with a little bit of those. We'll try testing out some Plant Garden too. So we've got some Shin Hair love going on here. Got Eternal Youth. We got 2 Extinctions, and we have the other alternate art extinction as well. So we have 4 Extinctions, so we'll be able to make and build some Denial Blood decks, I think. Let's see what else we've got. Let's see what we've got else wandering here in Diamond. We've got 3 Speared Cliff, that's fantastic. Yep, that's the other Princess Victoria. We got a couple Protectorate Defenders, they'll be good. Incantation of Fear, Castigator. We don't have as much. I mean, we've got 2 Claw of the Mountain as well as Midnight Shepherd, but we don't have too much else buffing out blood. But might be able to make another version of my Shin Hair Sacrifice deck here. We got some good. We're at 2 Drews Walkers. We got 2 Ingenuity plans. We've got 2 Surge mechanisms. We can make some good stuff with that. But other than that, that's kind of our rares looking at the moment. So we're not starting Pauper, but we're not starting with 4 of everything. So, alright. So to kind of give you all a bit of a heads up, so we're going to be trying to stream a little bit more. We're going to stream a little bit of drafts when we get the time, but as y'all are probably well aware, drafts are not always the most entertaining thing in the world to watch. One other thing that we'll be doing is, what I'm hoping to do is that we'll stream drafts and then we'll get those drafts up on YouTube so that those will be a little bit more concise and easier to watch and to take a look at. But other than doing some drafts and streaming some drafts here and there, we'll probably stream more games because those are a little bit easier to deal with. Those are a little bit more fun to watch. We'll see if we can get things together with Function and some of the other personalities in the Hex realm